Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about whether or not geriatrics should be drinking coffee. Now before we begin, if you haven't been here in Green, Texas, outside of New Braunfels, Texas, halfway between San Antonio and Austin on I-35, come visit us. I'd like to see you. It's either me or Casey here all the time. We're truly a mom and pop business and no employees. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so these episodes come fresh to you, plus it helps us. And post a comment if you like. So, in short, should geriatrics, i.e. old people, or as Rush Limbaugh used to call them, seasoned citizens, should they be drinking coffee? Well, we've talked about here on about maybe 4 or 5 episodes, tea versus coffee, because I think unfortunately these two beverages are kind of linked, even though they're so fundamentally different on so many levels. And I think there's maybe an inherent rivalry between coffee versus tea, the irresistible force against the immovable object. And we certainly have episodes here about how there's a reluctance by men to drink hot tea. Now, should old people be drinking coffee? Well, the studies are pretty clear on a couple things. Coffee, the Arabica bean, I'd say most people drink coffee at home are actually drinking Robusta, which is the inferior coffee, but most people go to coffee shops are getting Arabica, like Starbucks and whatnot. They'll use Arabica. What do we know about the coffee bean? It does increase your blood pressure. It does increase your pulse. And it can make you anxious and jittery and give you heart palpitations. Not everybody, but it can. What else do we know? The studies are very clear on how caffeine and Arabica and Robusta affect the body. What else do we know? We know studies have shown this, that if you drink more than 2 cups of coffee a day and you have moderate to severe hypertension, i.e. high blood pressure, this will double your chances of strokes and heart attacks. So if you have high to moderate blood pressure, don't be drinking more than 2 cups. Now, most old people have what we call the metabolic syndrome. They're going to have obesity. Normally then you'll get type 2 diabetes, and then you also get high cholesterol, hyperlipidemia, and hypertension. So these all kind of come together. Not all old people have these things, but the majority of old people do. So if you have moderate to high blood pressure, no, you should not be drinking coffee, at least 2 cups a day. If you want to have your Folgers in the morning, drink 1 cup a day. Now, I'm not saying this because I have this humongous tea bias, because you could just simply Googleize it right now, as Zoolander says. You could just look it up. I'm not lying. Now, what's the other issue? Okay, so coffee does have antioxidants. So those are things that fight against inflammation, free radical damage in the body, disease, cancer, stuff like that. Coffee can be healthy for that. But tea has more antioxidants, in particular catechins, that's a type of antioxidants. Plus it has none of the side effects that coffee has, i.e. the increase in pulse, the increase of blood pressure, and whatnot. So what old people should do, and really to be honest, all Americans, what we should be doing is switching off of coffee and getting to tea. Because tea not only is healthier, it has more antioxidants, it has L-theanine in it. L-theanine is an amino acid that causes relaxation. It relaxes you. It's only found like in 3 things in terms of foods and drinks. Certain mushrooms, rose petals, and Camellia sinensis, the tea plant. Coffee doesn't have it. And we talked about before, like the Gen Zers and the millennials who are so overwrought with anxiety and FOMO, and I need to take a mental health day and all these things. They are the worst people right now who should be drinking coffee. But who drinks a lot of coffee, right? If you go to the hipster coffee shops, it's all people in their 30s and their 20s. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. It's just increasing your anxiety because coffee does that. So in short, should old people be drinking coffee? Unless you have your diastole is 69 and your systole is 110 and you are 75 years old, those are your blood pressure readings. Unless you have one of these really normal blood pressure readings, the answer would be no. And if you have moderate to high blood pressure, drink 1 cup or no cup of coffee a day, or just switch to tea, because tea, along with tisanes, i.e. namely hibiscus has been known for centuries to help reduce high blood pressure. Switch to tea and drink hibiscus. And I understand, like if you've been drinking coffee your whole life, going to drink hot tea, especially if you're a guy, is like scary. I see guys come in here all the time. They're going to get gay or something like that just by coming into a hot Asian tea shop or an Asian tea shop that serves hot tea. We do have teas, cultivars of teas that kind of taste like black coffee, but the thing is just develop a taste for tea, especially green tea, and then move on from there, because ultimately when it comes to your health, tea is healthier than coffee at any age. Guys, post in the comments if you agree or disagree. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.